Welcome to this live podcast of Silver Lining Podcast with Adam and Rex, our two moderators. Cami and Missy are off stage, but very active. Several of you are on here already. Hello, Joe Wilkin and Mary Curie and Missy Holden and Joetta Bryant. Now I'm going to miss someone. Now I have to name everyone because I hate missing someone. Stella Luna Otantoto. That's Those are the ones I see. Cindy just joined us. Lindsay's with us. Yay. And Betty Lester just joined. Good group here, Adam, because we want to speculate together. And let's emphasize that we are only speculating. We don't know anything. Adam, as far as I know, you and I don't have any inside information, Lori's mind, what's going on.
No.
So wild speculating this evening. Okay. First of all, I have 3 shout outs I have to remember, but the first one, the big one, in fact, I'm going to share my screen for this. And Adam, if you would, tell us what is going on here.
Let's see. Oh, is that my Facebook post?
It says National Championship, U.S. Senior Pickleball.
Yes.
What is going on there?
Well, I told you I haven't played in a tournament in a while because I've been doing so much coaching. And I used to play tons and tons of tournaments. And now I play like maybe 4 tournaments or 5 tournaments a year instead of 50 or 30 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I had a tournament this past yesterday, actually. And it was a national tournament. And I've never won. I've never been a national champion. I've won tons of pickleball tournaments, but never the national champion, senior champion one. So
exactly.
Yeah, that was a sweet win. It was we played really, really well, and it was awesome. It was a great feeling. Super good.
Yeah. Congratulations on that and on being a national champion in pickleball.
Thank you. It's great because I just signed with Crush like a couple of weeks ago, new pickleball sponsor, which, by the way, their new paddle is amazing. It helped me win that tournament. It hits so well with it.
Now, tell us all what it means that you signed with a sponsor. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty big deal when you get signed with a sponsor in pickleball. A sponsor wants you to represent their product or represent their band. And now there's more sponsors now in pickleball, but people are very picky who they're going to put on their brand to sign. That way you can represent their brand at tournaments and their product and all that stuff. So yeah. And Rochelle and Pete are the owners. They came from manufacturing and their son got into pickleball. So they started this brand about 1.5 years ago. They have several pros that are playing with their paddle. And I guess what's the word? I'm humbled because they asked me to be, part of their team, and it's gone so well. So I'm just excited to be part of Crush. I know it's funny because the logo and like my friends are like, that's for young, you're old. And I was like, seniors love, like a lot of my clients that switched over to Crush, they love their paddles. So I know it's a young, hip company. And but yeah, a lot of the older people that play pickleball are loving their new paddles. So yeah, I mean, pickleball has been really good here in the last couple months. It's been picking up.
Very good. Congratulations. If you're worried about feeling old, just hang out with me and you can you can stay young that way.
Yeah.
You can see in the comments a lot of congratulations there.
Yeah. I'll show you the medal if you want to see it. Let me see.
Of course, we have a lot of people joining us from all over. Aloha from Kauai, Lynn Brown.
That's the greatest place in the world, isn't it?
And this is interesting because let's see, a little bit later, Jewel Gazer said, I honeymooned in Kauai. And I honeymooned in Kauai also. I didn't see, not with Jewel Gazer, by the way.
Good. This is breaking news you're giving us.
Okay, let's see the medal, Adam.
The medal, it's probably the nicest medal I've ever won because it's national championship, but I don't know if you can see it.
Right there.
Yeah.
Very good. National championship.
Yeah, it was really nice. And one at the ceremony, the guy comes up and he puts the thing around your neck, and you're standing there on the number one spot and all that. And he's like, "This is something that no one can ever take away from you. That you're a national champion." Well, no one's ever said that to me, so I was like, "Wait, let me think about this for a second," because I've been on lots of podiums for tournaments, but I don't know. I guess it's a big deal. So I don't know. I'm humbled, and we played really, really good and consistent, and yeah. So it was great. Super
Hey,
good day
Mister
yesterday.
wants to know if you're going international now.
Sure. Let's go. Well, when Rex and I travel for this podcast and go visit everybody who's worldwide, we'll also be bringing pickleballs and paddles with us. That way you can get lessons from me and Rex about how to play pickleball.
Very good. And Richie's with us from Scotland, so
Yes.
we have some destinations to get to.
Yes, we do.
All right. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you, Uncle Rex. Appreciate you.
You bet. Before we turn our attention to the subject at hand, I want a quick shout out on my friends because this community is so good about sending good thoughts or prayers or helps. We have two optimists that have really been with us since before the beginning because they're mine and Lisa's close friends. But Curtis and Melissa, Curtis tried to leave this earth through some just terrible sicknesses sicknesses last couple of weeks. He's hanging in there on the mend, and so our best wishes go out to them.
Yeah,
and for a quick recovery. But they're great supporters of us, and like I said, two of mine and Lisa's BFFs.
Good.
So,
well, I hope he gets us a good recovery.
Yeah. Now let's talk about your sister, Adam.
Okay.
Because Lori is now going to do. She's going to be her attorney.
Mm-hmm. So
let's start speculating about how that's going to go because people are all over the place. Let's see a couple. For example, let's start with this. There are a few questions relating to who's she's going to have as witnesses. Joetta Bryant asks, "Do you think Lori will call Chad as a witness?" What do you think, Adam?
My personal thought, and I've been thinking about this long and hard. At first, I was kind of like the rest of you, was like, I'm thinking as Lori being a defense attorney since she wants to represent herself. And then I thought, okay, I don't think Lori is going to ask anybody any questions. I don't think she's going to act as an attorney. I think she's going to represent herself. I think she's going to try to spew something that she wants to spew, which would probably, in my mind, sound a lot like what her closing statement was in her trial in Idaho. I think she just wants that opportunity to talk again like that. I don't think that she's going to call witnesses. I don't think she's going to cross-examine anybody. I know several people have sent me messages on my phone saying, what's going to happen? What kind of questions are Lori going to ask you if you get have to go to trial? And I was like, I don't think Lori's going to ask any questions. I think when the judge says, does a defense is ready for your questions or whatever, and she's just going to be like, no questions. I mean, that's her pattern. That's what she's kind of going with. When we say she's going to represent herself, in my mind, I would take that out of context of she's not going to be a lawyer. She's not going to do what other lawyers would do or other people that are representing themselves. I just don't think she's going to go there. Now, I could be completely wrong. I haven't talked to Lori. I haven't seen her. But I would, from what I've seen, that's what I would speculate.
Yeah, and of course we are speculating purely, and Lynn Sass has a different view on that. She thinks she'll call Chad just to be able to see him.
That's something that, it would not surprise me. Yeah, that could happen.
Yeah, because we don't know her motives. We don't know why she's doing this. I know she's always looked up to your dad, and your dad has always wanted to be a lawyer.
Yeah, right.
And she may be following that pattern. I don't know, but we'll see. Now, here's a thought from Stella Luna that I want to address. She said, "I feel most for Kay, Larry, and Colby. Having Lori cross-examine them is going to be awful." to cross-examine them, the prosecutor would have to call them as a witness. I can't imagine a scenario in which they call Larry as a witness. Can you think of any scenario? And maybe in the comments, let us know what you think Larry might be called. I could see Kay being called as a witness
because they switched the insurance to her.
But to me, that's a long shot. They, unless there's something, where they need Kay's testimony, because obviously it was switched.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would call her. And Colby, I don't think has anything to do with the case. He wasn't around, didn't know about it.
Yeah. Maybe afterwards, maybe the day he came over to Lori's house after Charles was dead, and Lori lied to him about how Charles died and all that. And then,
yeah.
So I don't know what that would have to do. As you're saying, I don't know who's going to be called and how it's going to go down, because we don't know what the prosecution is, what they have, how they're going to approach it. The thing that really got me is like, how did Lori convince people that she can represent herself? Like, who made that decision to be like, oh yeah, she's ready to go?
Well, you don't need to prove that you're capable to represent yourself.
Yeah.
Just that you have the mental capacity to know what's going on in the courtroom.
Gotcha. So it's low hanging fruit. It's the lowest qualification you could possibly have is to be able to represent yourself. Are you aware you're going to be in a courtroom? Yes. Okay, great. You could represent yourself there.
Yeah. If you listen to the hearing, the judge had a whole list of questions, just like you said, are you aware that it means this, this, and this?
Yeah.
And
are you aware that you have already 3 life sentences, and this could possibly be another life sentence added to your thing? Yes, I understand that.
Now you say that in jest, Adam, but I want to make this point before we go on. We do have 9 more starred questions go on, and there'll be a lot more, I'm sure, because it's a hot topic. But I want to reiterate something. I changed my mind recently, and what you just said reminded me of it. When we talk about Lori being in a delusion, I do believe she's delusional. I believe the medical or psychiatric diagnoses that she has received are accurate. Okay. And she is delusional. But I don't believe that means that she's lost in a delusion. Like her delusion has become her reality, and that's the only thing she sticks to. In her case, my personal belief, no medical background, no psychology background, is she's just using it. She's using her delusion to her convenience, whatever time she wants to pull on it, depending on who she's talking to. She picks and chooses. She's not lost. She didn't kill her children because of a delusion. She didn't conspire to kill Tammy or Charles because of a delusion. She did it because she's evil. Those were evil decisions. And so all the diagnoses, yes, I think very, very real, but she's not lost in a delusion. She has shown many times, and she'll show in trial as she did in the hearing. She knows where she is. She knows what's going on. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyone that has to interact with her, I agree, Stella Luna, that's going to be terrible for him, because why? They'll if they have to, unless it goes like Adam says, and she won't be cross-examining or even calling her own witnesses. If she does, it'd be horrible to interact with her, knowing that this is just a facade, and saying like Colby did in his podcast. If y'all haven't seen Colby's podcast on this, I recommend it to you. Please go see it. And he's just saying, come on, let's get this over with. Get grief. Don't put everyone through this. So it will be terrible for anyone there, Stella Luna. We're with you on that one.
Yeah, and I think with mental illness, who knows what? Now we know that mental illness is like all over the place. A lot of people have mental illness, and they're all different types of mental illness. But we all know that
Right.
Lori is mentally ill. We To what level, I have no idea. We just know that I know for sure she's not the same person that she was 5 years ago. She's just not. So I don't know what happened with that. I don't know if evil causes mental illness or if something inside your brain, you have a chemical imbalance in your hormone. I don't know what it is, but she's definitely mentally ill.
Yep, I'm with you on that. So, Adam, let's Maui Swift asked specifically, how would it be? Let's see, how will be feel being? Not sure what the wording is on that, Maui Swift. Sorry, but Adam, how would you feel if you're being called as a witness for the state, so you're going to be cross-examined by Lori? How would you handle that? How would you feel about it?
Honestly, I think I would relish it. I mean, I would like to sit there and stare at her while she's trying to ask me questions.
This is the reversal, Adam.
Only because, I haven't really gone to therapy. So I think for me, you know how I snapped on that guy on court TV? there may be a moment where I snap in court and, probably not the best witness on the stand, but I have a feeling that depending if I have to go on the court and testify, and Lori does end up asking me questions, I could see if there's certain things that she says that instead of answering questions, I would re-ask a different question to her. And so I don't know if the judge would be just answer the question, don't ask, I don't know. And who knows, I may snap and say something, but I don't know yet. That's interesting to see if she would have the nerve to do that. If like what Rex says, she knows what she did was evil, and she knows that she was all these things, and she put me on the chopping block to kill me, that she could sit there and ask me, anything. So it would be interesting to see if that actually happens. And by the way, the state of Arizona hasn't called me to be a witness or Zach. So these are all good things so far, but who knows? When's that trial supposed to go down now?
Yeah, it starts the 31st of March.
Oh, okay.
So there's a real trial date for Charles's trial.
Yeah.
And they did confirm once again there will be 2 trials.
Okay.
Conspiring to kill Charles and then conspiring to kill Brandon.
Okay.
So it's coming up. So on a similar vein, and you partially answered this, Adam, Garrett Elliott asked, are you freaking out? She's going to have to be questioning people and looking to point a finger if she mounts a defense.
Right. If she does that. But the thing, if you guys remember, I told you, like back when Charles was, telling us that she was saying all these crazy things and all these things, Lori's pattern back then was she was blaming people for things that she was doing. She said, oh, Charles is having an affair. Well, she was the one actually having an affair with Chad. She's like, Charles and Adam and Zach and Brandon are trying to kill me. In fact, she was trying to kill us. So, whatever Lori says in court, we all know her pattern. That would be her pattern, is to blame whatever she did. She's trying to blame other people, just like the crazy thing that she said about Tylee and JJ, how they died. So everything's going to be a point of blame, push away from her for sure. If she says anything, all those things will happen.
Okay. And I thank you for the question there, Garrett. I want to make this point. Lori, if she does choose to mount a defense, like actively defend herself, it's not a stretch. Now, she goes on after the prosecution, of course, so the prosecution can spike the gun, so to speak, that they can handle this because it's pretty self-explaining. But remember, Alex pleaded self-defense. She could easily say, hey, I'm the only one there. It was self-defense. So, of course, the burden of proof is on the prosecution. She could say, you know what? All these texts and emails you're talking about, yeah, we wanted Charles out of our way. We wanted him out of our life. We weren't planning on killing him, but it doesn't matter what we said because we didn't have him killed. Alex killed him in self-defense. So that took care of it. So that's a pretty, I don't know if she's going to do that, but it's a simplistic defense. Now, of course, there's a lot of evidence to the contrary, but
yeah,
that is a path she could take if she didn't want to be real active with a defense. Again, we're speculating. Let's start from the top here. Jewel Gazer says, hey, I hope you guys will be candid about all this. Now, she said this before we started talking. This was one of the early start comments. I think we're being as candid as we can. I find Lori incredibly disturbing, and I'm shocked the judge is allowing her to play lawyer. The judge
doesn't have a choice, right?
Yeah.
The Constitution overrules everything.
Yeah. Now, the judge can, if he has a reason, like she's not mentally competent, or she gets into doing it as the judge described to her, if for any reason she's taking it off the rails, so to speak, he can call her, I can't remember what he called it, but her backup counsel will be there ready to jump in. And he said, if he calls on the backup counsel to jump in, they're taking over right from where she left off. They aren't going back on anything that's happened up till then. They just have to pick up and go with, and they haven't had time to see all the evidence.
No.
And
she's not going to do anything to get her kicked out of the court. Obviously, if she really wanted out of the court, she could just plead guilty and don't have to go to court, but she's not doing that. But I don't think she's going to do anything that's going to get the judge to kick her out of court.
No, they wouldn't kick her out of court.
But not kick her out, but not represent herself.
Yeah.
The judge can just say, okay, you're done. We'll stop talking. Or if she starts jumping around and acting crazy, which she won't, but if she did, then they take her out and all that stuff. So I don't know. I think sometimes we're going too far with this with what as far as speculating what Lori's going to do. I think it's just going to be very minimal, like very minimal.
Okay. Jen Becker says, I do have to say she seemed pretty with it, but sassy. I don't think she's going to ask questions. She won't, but will make people wonder what she's going to say. That's for darn sure. We're all wondering what she's got to say. So, yeah, we could see that. Okay, so JoJo's warning you, Adam. You would be in contempt of court when Lori asked you questions if you.
Yeah. Well, okay. So what could I possibly say that would put me in contempt of court? Like
anything the judge didn't like. Like if you went off on Lori.
Yeah. But when you say go off, what does that actually mean? Like what would, like, I don't see myself, saying, Lori, you're a murderer, you kill. I don't see myself doing that. I see myself being very sarcastic or maybe very clever with how I answer the questions.
Clever's in the ear of the listener.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I don't know if I would, like, when I say snap, it doesn't mean I'm going to start screaming and yelling. What I mean is like,
okay.
Yeah, I'll be like, really, Lori, this is your question? Okay, let's ask this question to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, the judge might not like that.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I don't want to be trust me, I'll do everything I can to stay out of jail.
Mm-hmm. Ana Franco says, I think Lori's going to keep with it was self-defense and it was Alex.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Yeah.
But in the other trials in Idaho, the prosecutors, as I mentioned before, they took care of all the defenses Lori could have come up with at the time, or her attorneys could have come up with. The way they laid it out, I think they thought they did such a masterful job of that, and I'm sure these prosecutors will too. They'll lay it out and they'll right away squash the idea that it could have been self-defense,
right?
And they'll do their job with it. So we'll see. Celine Thomas starts off saying, just a theory. We're all just throwing out just theories, Celine. So your theory is as valid as any of ours. Just a theory. I think Lori wants to represent herself because she wants to be back in Idaho fast. Celine, all she has to do is say, I'm guilty, and they'll take her back to Idaho.
Yeah.
And the lawyers won't give her a quick trial. She wants to settle scores with witnesses. Okay, now that's a valid possibility.
Who are the witnesses okay, so let's think about that. Who are the witnesses that she wants to settle a score with? Melanie Gibb? You think?
Be, but she may not.
What other witnesses would she want to settle a score with?
That's an interesting thought.
Zulema?
Let's talk about M. Gibb and Zulema for a minute. Melanie Gibb was at the house before Charles. We don't know when she left. We know she was there that morning.
Do we know Zulema had anything to do with any of that? Was she around?
Not that she was around, but of course she lived close, and who knows what evidence they have.
What text messages they have or anything like that?
Yeah. Yeah, she lives pretty close. But
when you say settle the score, I'm trying to think what Lori, like, what could she possibly say to them? All they did was, say what happened.
Well, Adam, you're talking about a deranged, evil mind. So who knows what she would have to say, and who knows who's on her bad list now?
Yeah, who's on the dark list? Well, Chad has to tell her who's on the dark list. She doesn't have that information.
Well, she might come up with her own list.
She might start her. Since she can't talk to Chad, she's got to come up with her own dark list.
She may have gotten it through the portal. We don't know. So.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows at this
point. She only wanted to be back in Idaho. That's no problem. Hey, I'm guilty. Send me back to Idaho.
Yeah, she should have never had to come to Arizona then. She could just say, "Oh yeah, I did that. Don't worry about it. You can give me life or whatever you want to give me. I'm staying here or whatever. Who knows?"
But she wants to. If her motive is to settle scores, this is an opportunity.
Yeah.
Good thought there, Celine. Thank you.
Yeah, watch. It could be completely opposite of what I thought. I think it's just going to be quiet, easygoing. It's going to end quickly. It's just the defenses or the prosecution is going to run through their thing. She's not going to say anything to anybody until it's her time to speak, to say what she wants to say.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. But it could be completely opposite. Who knows what she's, she has all this time in prison. Maybe she's there, studying and prepping and
jailhouse lawyer.
She's going to be like Gerard Butler in that movie where he represented himself and made the judge feel like, what?
Love that movie.
Yeah.
Catherine Peza says, I hope Zach doesn't get called. Was he living with Lori when that happened?
No, Zach had moved out of Lori's house because a lot of weird things was happening. And then he went to Melanie's house, and then Melanie told him he couldn't live there. So he's living with my mom and dad. I was in Kansas, and he had come out here to work and wanted to live in Arizona. And so he was at my mom and dad's house at that time. So he wasn't even at Lori's house then.
But he wasn't too far removed.
No, it's like 3 weeks removed or 2 weeks removed or something like that. It just had happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope they don't call Zach either, because he doesn't need any of this.
Hedgehog in Space says, act as though the jury is a group of optimists that you're trying to help despite the crazy in front of you. Oh, that's what you could do, Adam.
What is it?
Just picture. I think this was Hedgehog's advice to you for when you're on there. Just act like the jury is a group of optimists,
right? That
you're trying to help.
Perfect.
And then,
that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm. That may help you from.
Wait, let me ask you a question. When I go to court, do I have to wear a suit or something, or can I wear my pickleball gear? Oh,
I don't know if they'll let you wear the crush cap,
oh,
but yeah,
it's not.
they're each judge can set his or her own dress standard for it.
Oh, gotcha. Or
Probably not a suit.
I'll come as my cousin Vinny and wear a leather jacket.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, and yeah, probably not a suit. I don't remember if a tie was necessary at the other trials, but this judge can do
Hmm.
what he wants.
All right.
Okay.
I do have nice clothes. I can wear them when I need to.
All right.
I don't always dress like this.
You have nice pickleball outfits you could wear.
No.
Bill Gazer says,
Above
I think
that.
Adam will be called at Brandon's trial as well. I think the odds are more for Charles because he is actually, part of it that morning.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about Brandon's trial. I know that Brandon called me after he just had left the scene.
Yeah,
Like,
he called you like first or second.
yeah.
Right there,
Yeah.
So could be.
Yeah.
Could be. We shall see.
But again, without me having any communication with Lori or Alex at all, because they had cut me off way before that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess it would just be what I remember Brandon telling me, or who knows what I would testify about.
Yeah. Catherine, we're all with you. That's what we're all about here. Justice for Charles and Brandon with these two trials. Mm-hmm. And I will add in that part of justice, I hope that if there are any other co-conspirators that we don't know about, that they are revealed and charged as appropriate. I don't know who that is because they're unknown conspirators, but I hope that comes out of this, because really all these things we are speculating about, like will she call witnesses, will she not real critical in big picture. We're pretty sure she's going to be found guilty. Even if she weren't, she's serving 3 life sentences without possibility of parole. So
wouldn't it be something if Lori figured out how to get off of this whole thing on a technicality? She like studied it. You see like movies like this kind of stuff happens, or like, wait, what did Lori just do?
Yeah, that's that would be something.
And a movie, right?
Not something we want to think about.
No.
So Spooky Micah says, do you think she will claim to be a good mother even though she has been convicted of killing her children? My thought, Adam, if you don't mind me going first.
Sure.
She already claims that. She claims she didn't kill her children. If you listen to the interview with Colby when he called her and interviewed her. So I don't know why that came up. What happened?
What happened to your original question?
Yeah, it's gone. Anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think she'll claim that, of course, because she has been. She's been saying that. She said that in her sentencing. She said that to Colby. So that's
I think when Kay and other people testified what a great mother Lori was, and a lot of people were testifying that Lori was a great mother. Maybe that's why it's in people's head that,
of course, not after she killed her children.
We're not saying that, but I'm saying before Lori went through all this stuff, people were testifying what a great mother Lori was. So
and we are of that opinion too.
Yes, yeah. I thought Lori was a great mom. So that's the hard part is blocking what she was before who she is now. So that's a hard thing to, when we start thinking about that, people are like, well, she could never been a great mother. And, there you go.
Yep. See, Teresa Warner asks, since she is her own lawyer, can she go on Court TV and be interviewed?
I don't know if you're a lawyer, you're going as Lori's lawyer or as Lori.
Well, it doesn't matter. I don't think that criminal justice system allows that. So it's not a matter of the.
But if Vinny can get her on, he will.
Yeah, he will. Yep. And by the way, thanks for bringing that up, Adam. Let's point that out to people. Our last live 1 week ago was with Vinnie Politan from Core TV. So those of you who haven't seen that, I recommend that. Vinny's a great guest. He has great experience and insight. So,
oh man, he had some stories that, I don't follow true crime, so I don't know all these true crime stories, but he had me on a couple of those cliffhangers. I was like, wait, what happened? I guess that's how people think about this story. When they hear it for the first time, they're like, what? How do I put this together? Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, he had some really interesting stories that, the true crime people all know.
Okay. Well, I'll try the answer on this one first, Emily, and Adam, if you've heard differently, or people in the comments may get a different answer here. The question is, how is sentencing in Arizona going to work? Like, would she stay in the Idaho prison or be moved to an Arizona one? My understanding is she's going to be sent back to Idaho either way to serve those 3 consecutive life sentences. And then after that,
she'll be coming. They're bringing her bones back to Arizona.
Right, back to Arizona and put him in the out in the exercise yard, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, Idaho has her first. Okay. Trying to keep up, and we're getting further behind.
Oh. Did
the police from Sherry Lamb? Did police ever get Charles's phone?
Yes.
You're on that one.
So, I think it was a day later, they left Lori's house without Charles's phone, left Lori with Charles's phone for about 24 hours before they realized, oh, we forgot to get the number one piece of evidence when we were there. Oh, let's call Lori and tell her to bring that phone in. So yes, after an hour of Lori having Charles's phone, and who knows what she put in Charles's phone. Who knows what she deleted? Who knows any of that? But yeah, the police finally got Charles's phone after 24 hours of leaving it at the crime scene.
Adam's a little bitter on that one. You may.
It's the number one piece of evidence. How do you forget to get it?
Hedgehog in Space. Thank you, Hedgehog. It's called advisory council. So she'll have advisory council. So they'll be there, and the judge could say, okay, Lori, you're done. I'm tired of this. Yeah. Advisory council take over. And she said the advisory council will probably ask a set of questions that they give her 1 or 2 of her own each time.
Yeah, I don't think it's my opinion is it's never going to get to that. I just don't think Lori's going to do anything. So I think she's going to sit there and just with a look on her face, and I don't think she's actually going to do anything.
And she doesn't have to ask what the advisory council gives to her either.
No.
Talking back about you again, Dana Schollenberger says, I'd take the contempt charge and still go off on her.
Throw me in jail, be like Al Pacino in what's that? Injustice for All movie. Oh my gosh. You're out of order. This whole court is out of order. Lori, you're out of order.
Hedgehog asked the question, is Lori still fighting the life insurance having gone decay? I don't think you can fight that, and that wouldn't be in a trial anyway. That's not a legal thing. The insurance company has to pay it out to the beneficiary, which they did, and so that's done. So here's a thank you, Missy, for this, an important question. Do you think additional evidence will come out in trial? What do you think, Adam? Additional meaning stuff we don't know yet.
Yeah, that's highly possible because we don't know much. So I think the police probably, or the FBI or somebody, whoever investigated afterwards, probably has some things that we do not know.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are hoping. I'll speak for myself. You can add on. That's why I'm going to listen to this trial. I'm not concerned about the outcome, even if it didn't go the way I wanted. That's not my concern. We get more truth, more actual facts about what happened, especially about people involved or not involved. I hope the truth comes out of it. That's why I'm listening. Okay, Jewel Gazer says Hidden True Crime thinks Summer will be called as well due to texts. Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. They always have a good perspective there at Hidden True Crime, Lauren and John. So we'll go with their thoughts also. Back to Hedgehog in space. I think it will be more the same Lori that we saw in the police interviews after Charles died. Yeah, that's pretty much Lori right there. Just as if nothing had happened. So somebody's Chelsea, interesting name, somebody's Chelsea. She didn't present a defense in Idaho. That's true. Curious if she ends up presenting one in these trials. That is a good question and good observation.
Yeah, it's going to be surprising if she does put up a defense and tries to cross-examine and do all that. That maybe she's been in jail so long and she's been whatever in jail where she's at the point now where she's like, oh, and maybe I should do something. But who knows? The problem is, we're not in Lori's brain, thank goodness. But if we were, we'd be like, what are you thinking? Who knows? Anything can happen. That's the funny thing about this is like anything can happen, and nothing would surprise me. But yeah, I just feel like it's going to go pretty easy, like clockwork.
Okay, I appreciate your optimism there. Hedgehog says, Adam, you can just wear a shirt that says, I'm the good brother.
Right.
Well, that is true, as opposed to the other brother. Okay. Big Girl wants you to expose them all. And Solene Thomas says, Zulema did participate in castings for Charles to have accidents and did mention that it was a Laban situation in a text. So she knew something, maybe not that they meant to go that far. Yeah, she did know. Everyone that participated in those castings knew that they were trying to get the zombie out of Charles.
Yeah, Ned. What was Ned
Schneider?
Ned Schneider was actually inside Charles, and Charles had no clue that Ned was taking over him.
Yeah, and Charles was in limbo somewhere. Those teachings, they made this crap up and kind of changed them as they went, like they did all this stuff. And such bizarre teachings. But, you do what you need to when you're a liar and have a criminal mind. You just throw crap out there and see what sticks, I guess. So, yes, Zulema was definitely part of the inside circle. Oh, Bobby Harper says we can't say kill, we have to say unliving. So who's that for, Bobby? Who can't say kill? Can we not say kill on the podcast? Because I think there are a lot of podcasts that say kill.
Oh, is that why? Do they delete our podcast?
We didn't use the term liberal.
But didn't early in our podcast, like a year ago or something, didn't we get like a red flag, or they sent us something, or they didn't let our podcast go on YouTube or something?
Something really minor, and we appealed and it was fine.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, who knows what the censorship thing is with this? We have no idea.
So here's an interesting thought from Lynn Bowen. When picking the jury, that'll be interesting. She'll be asking them, do you know who I am? It may burst her bubble when they say, nope, never heard of you.
Yes, that's a funny thought, actually.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's because she's gonna have
the jury selection.
Yeah, because she's gonna have to pick people and try to not get people that.
Yeah, she has to participate in the voir dire and ask the questions and eliminate people. And
what if she bats her eyes and did what she did to the police in Chandler, where they were like, "Oh, okay." What if she gets a couple of guys? What if she gets a couple guys on the jury that fall in love with her?
Well, I think she still has 3 life sentences to serve, but she could have a boyfriend on the outside, and
Yeah.
Chad wouldn't mind because she committed adultery with him. Apparently, he's okay with that.
Wow.
Interesting thought.
Yeah, the jury selection. I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
She has to be part of that.
Good thinking, Lynn.
Gets her out of jail more though. Because being her own attorney, I think she can get out of jail more time than she's in there, right? Because she has to go to court to actually do
jail, meaning she's in the courtroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if her goal is to get out of jail and be in the courtroom,
yeah, then hold on, think about that. That may be the only reason she's doing this. Seriously, if you think about it, I don't know. That's crazy.
Well, Janet Bradley says, who do you think Lori will blame? Just Alex? Or are there other targets for her to point to?
I guess it would just have to. I think it would be Alex because Alex is dead.
Well, think about this. The charge is conspiring to kill Charles. And so I don't even think she has to address who killed Charles. We know Alex killed him. Okay. So the question here isn't, did Lori kill Alex? The question is, did she conspire to kill him?
Well, if you're doing castings that have Charles dead, and that's a pretty big piece of evidence.
Yeah, but that's the point. The point is, did you conspire? And if it's just doing castings, does that mean that everyone that did castings conspired? And should they be tried just like Lori is?
Wow. A lot of things to think about.
Yeah. So I don't think there's a chance for her to blame someone else for conspiring, because whether there are others or not that conspired doesn't affect the fact. The only question for her is, did she conspire or not? Interesting thought on that. See, this is thought. I knew this would be great. People would have great questions, and it'd all be thought provoking. Good job on that one, Janet. Yeah, and so that answer goes along for Kelly's question too. Do you think Lori will blame Tylee again? No, because they aren't talking about JJ's death. They're talking about Charles.
Yeah, Charles only.
And they're talking about conspiring. So
the whole thing's going to be focused on, did Lori conspire to kill Charles? That's the whole focus, because they're trying to get that conviction.
Yeah, so I can't imagine how Tylee or JJ would enter into this. That's why I couldn't imagine that they'd call Larry as a witness, or
right.
As we talked about earlier.
Yeah, because I know in our minds when we think about this story, there's so many different pieces all over the place. But when you separate trial after everything has a separate trial and a separate thing, you're not bringing up the kids here or Tammy here, or right. It's strictly on that person.
Right. So LL says, okay, I'm so confused. Adam, if you talk to your mother talks to Lori, seems you would know more about what's going on. You seem disengaged in the topic. Is Janice even talking with Lori?
Who knows? I know that she's had communication with her, but who knows? We don't talk about. When I'm with my mom and my sister, we just all agree that Lori has really lost her mind, but we don't get into details about anything. It's basically that. So who knows what, obviously, Lori is in a weird mindset, and, if Colby couldn't get through to her, that my mom and Summer can't get through to her. So what's the point?
Yeah. And, when you live this, like we all have for 6 years, but think of being in the direct family like Adam is, you don't want to talk about this all the time. And you don't talk about this all the time.
No, we talk about Yellowstone.
Ooh, New episode tonight.
Yes, yeah, we're gonna watch it. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
And Kelly is sure that she will protect Alex and Chad. I don't know how she can protect Alex because he's told everyone that he shot Charles.
Right.
So, there's a self-defense thing, but that's not what the case is about. So Alex isn't part of it. I think Kelly's just saying in general she would be inclined to protect Alex. I'm not sure about.
Well, I'm not sure she would try to protect Alex.
Right. I think
I'm thinking that she may try to throw Alex under the bus. Exactly.
If she needed, but that's not the need here in this particular.
Chad, on the other hand, I don't think she would ever throw Chad under the bus.
Right.
Yeah. Alex, yes. Chad, no.
Okay. Teresa Warner says, the interview Lori did with Colby. Lori said she didn't know JJ was autistic.
What?
I thought she and Charles knew that. Yeah, she was pretty.
We all knew it. Everybody knew that JJ was autistic.
what came out of that interview to give that impression,
but I think in Lori's mind that when she's mentioning stuff like this, she might be mentioning in the next life, JJ is not going to be autistic. In the next life,
right now, when JJ visits her, maybe.
Yeah, because when JJ comes to her in spirit or whatever, he doesn't, because in Lori's like in the next life, everybody's perfect. There's all this. So if you got confused, that may be a reason you may have got confused with that. But I don't think I didn't see Colby's interview, so I have no idea what Colby and Lori talked about, except for what you guys tell me. But I wouldn't think that Lori would say that because we all knew that JJ was autistic. So
yeah,
but who knows? Show me the video where she said it so I can see it.
Okay, Betty Lester says, I hope she doesn't blame Tylee on Brandon's case. It was her Jeep that Alex was driving. Don't think she can blame Tylee on that. So
yeah.
We'll see. I hope Tylee and JJ don't enter into it at all. Let's just let them rest in peace. Kimberly from Jury Duty Podcast. Kimberly and Lindsay run Jury Duty Podcast. We recommend that to you. Kimberly says, I think charges for Melanie will be coming once Lori is done with Brandon's trial. We'll see. Could be. And there could be other co-conspirators that come out of that. Hedgehog in Space says, surely every right that Lori gets, we do too. Protecting the rights of the worst people protects the innocent too. I'm all about that, Hedgehog, too. So I'm okay with her circus in this instance. It's not about her. Well, to Lori, it might be about her. Yeah. But the reason she has the ability to be her own attorney is not about her. Good point there, Hedgehog. Thanks for that reminder. Dana Schullenberger says, I wonder if they have other text messages regarding leading up to Charles' death, like they had messages for JJ, Tylee, and Tammy's trial. Do they have Alex's phone?
But they all had burner phones at this point. I mean, who knows?
Well, they did, but they all were not all bright enough to burn their burner phones.
Who even knows? Yeah, exactly. Like, who knows how many phones they used? Who knows what the FBI got? What, how that all went down? It's just odd. Like, it's definitely a red flag if Lori says to people, "Oh, I have a different phone now. Oh, I have a different phone now. Oh, I have a different phone now." It's like, what? Why aren't people saying, "What are you doing?" Like, everybody just gave her a pass. That irritates me.
Yep. And Dog Mom says Chad didn't have a problem throwing Lori under the bus. No problem at all. And
no,
I imagine Lori was okay with that because it was part of the plan. Remember the phone call? Is this part of the plan? Okay, if it's part of the plan, I can do that.
Yeah, whatever the plan is, Chad came up with a master plan, and Lori followed it to a T.
Maxine Pierce, didn't she mention that she had represented herself in 3 other court cases, one being family court? What were the other 2?
I know when Lori went to court with Joe about Tylee, she had several attorneys. I know because Charles paid for them all. So I don't know if she ever. I don't recall her ever representing herself in court. She may have, because I was never here or around the family because I was radio and traveling the country. So I really don't know if Lori ever represented herself, but maybe in a small case she could have. I have no idea.
Yeah, in family court, like when you divorce, you can represent yourself pretty easily, and she had plenty of divorces to go on.
Right. So yeah, she had definitely had opportunities to do that.
Yeah, but that's not the same as a capital murder
trial.
A murder trial.
Yeah.
Yeah. So probably just the other divorces, Maxine. Neither of us know the answer to that one. Look at the time, Adam, and we can close with this one. I just got a text. I mentioned my friend Curtis and Melissa, asking you to send prayers out. Yeah. I got a text from Melissa saying they are back in the hospital. Sorry to hear that. So,
oh, no.
If you would remember them in your prayers or good thoughts or just positive energy, we'd appreciate it. So last comment from Celine Thomas. Love this. No matter what happens during the trial, wishing you all a good end of year, Christmas from Ireland, hopefully together as a family or together with people you love.
Yes.
In some cases, that's not family.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for people. But thank you, Celine. That's a good way to close out the comments section of this. One other thing I'd like to point out. I've been reading a little more often. Dang it! It did it again. I've been on the Facebook group, and I loved Debbie's post today.
Oh, what'd she post?
Well, you're gonna have to go back and read it because I was going to put it up here, but Facebook, I guess, decided I'd been on that post too long and took it off. It takes me a minute.
They're like Stalker Rex. Get off this post.
Yeah, exactly.
Ban him now. Kimberly banned you from being on there for an hour.
Oh, it may have been Kimberly that kicked me off. And
it's the Facebook people.
Yeah, I won't read the whole thing, but I will just put it up here briefly in the Tylee and JJ Silver Lining podcast community, for which Kimberly and Lindsay helps her with this. Kimberly's the administrator. Just that window. Oh, here we go. She told us, and I appreciate this when y'all do it. Adam and I both appreciate this. Okay, that did not go well sharing the window. It didn't go the way I wanted. So I'll just tell you what she shared there. Oop, I canceled that. Stop sharing. She went into detail about her story and telling us why this podcast has helped her. Adam and I still wonder as we talk. We all know we've scaled back the podcast for unless there's situations like this where there's big news in Lori's case or the first of the month. So we'll have another one the 2nd of January. We decided since the 1st is New Year's. But we still want this podcast to help people. If it's run its course, we'll back off from it. Of course, we'll do it during the trials because we think we can add something from our perspective. But it helps us so much when we get those posts. So Debbie, thanks so much for posting that. Debbie Hatfield is a post on yesterday. So if you do get on Facebook, I'd recommend you go back to the Tylee and JJ Silver Lining podcast community. And she said, this channel helped me so much this past year. And she told her story and why the channel helped her. So thank you very much for that, Debbie.
Yeah, that's awesome. And the one reason Rex and I even started this was obviously we were talking about writing a book, but I think we stumbled upon us feeling healed, and then hearing other people's stories of them feeling healed and coming to a place where they feel safe. And so we're all in favor of, keeping the optimist group that we have and adding to it, and whoever else wants to, to feel safe when they come in here. And because Rex and I realized over the last year and a half of doing this podcast is more and more people have unexpected trauma in their life. And how do you deal with it? It's amazing to see some of the stories that you guys have in your life, that you've come such a long and far way with what you've gone through. And I think the podcast kind of helps us, and it helps you. I think we all help each other. Like, that's why we say this is just like one big family of trauma, and not everybody has trauma as much as we do, but people can relate to it.
Well, it comes and goes. We don't all have it at the same time. That's why community is so important.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have the energy to help people. Sometimes we need that energy. So thank you all for that. We love you. We'll see you the 2nd of January, if not sooner. There might be some news sooner. So please join us if there is. Take care.